Hello everyone, my name is Lisa, and today in this lesson we will be covering the HTML Document Object Model, or better known as the DOM. So what exactly is the DOM? Well, the DOM is a W3C standard which defines an open web platform. This is used for web application development. It also contains all of the technical specifications and guidelines for web developers to use and reference. For more information on these standards, you can visit www.w3.org/standards. The DOM is also an API for documents, and in our case, we're talking about HTML documents. Well, what is an API? An API is an application programming interface. This defines the interactions available for which your web application can communicate. It also allows the developer to take advantage of the methods available in the interface. For example, when you're accessing particular elements using JavaScript, this is only possible because the API for the DOM has specified that particular method to access the elements. In addition, the DOM has a tree structure based on the elements in the HTML document. Let's see what that means. So suppose we have an HTML document that contains the following elements. In this document, we have a body element, an H1 element, and a div element. Now the tree structure of the DOM would look something like the following. First we have the body element. Then below the body element we have the H1 element and we have the div element. Each of these elements contains some content shown as followed. Now you can see how as a tree structure we can visualize how the elements are relating to each other. In this case, the body is considered a parent element. The H1 and the div elements are both considered child elements, and they are children of the body element. This is because the H1 and the div elements are nested within the body element. So in other words, anytime you hear the word parent element or child element, this refers to the top element, which is the parent, and any elements nested within the parent element are considered child elements, and the collection of the child elements are the children of the parent. So let's talk a little bit about HTML elements. An HTML element is an object within the DOM, or the Document Object Model. Elements are always defined by a start tag, then some content, and then an end tag. Notice that in our example here, the tag name for the start tag and the closing tag, they must match. The only difference between the start tag and the closing tag is that the closing tag must begin with a /. Let's talk a little bit about HTML attributes. All HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes provide additional information about the elements. Attributes are always specified in the start tag, never in the closing tag, and never in the content, but always in the start tag. Attributes usually come in name-value pairs, like name equal, and then in quotations, the value. Let's take a look at our example from before. The only difference between this example and the example of our HTML document from before is that I've added an attribute. Notice in the div tag, there's an attribute with the name of style, and then it equals to the value of color : yellow. We'll learn more about this style attribute later. But for now, let's just pay attention to the fact that the div element now contains an attribute. This particular attribute is telling the browser that all of the content, or all of the text content, I should say, within the div tag should be color yellow. So notice that all of the text that appears within that div tag is in fact yellow. Now let's take a look at our tree structure. It looks similar as before, with the exception of the added attribute. The DOM now contains an object of type attribute, which is off of the div element